In this video, I will show you how I dialed in the preset for the bass clarinet on the Quad Cortex, including the process of using a custom impulse response. Hey everyone, this is Axel. Welcome to my channel. So in the last video, I gave you a quick overview of how I use the Quad Cortex on tour as a multi-instrumentalist playing saxophone, flute, clarinet, bass and other instruments, all with this small pedal board. Some of you wanted to get more into detail, asking how I dialed in the sounds and how I set up the presets for each instrument and how they sound. So in this video, I want to demonstrate the process starting with the bass clarinet preset. I will show you two things. First, how and why I decided to make my own custom impulse response for the bass clarinet. And two, how to set everything up within the Quad Cortex. I will divide it into several parts, so you will find the timestamps in the description below in case you want to skip some of the parts. So first of all, the bass clarinet. It's a wonderful instrument, but it's rather problematic to record. In a studio situation, you might get good results with only one microphone placed not too close to the clarinet, trying to capture the sound coming from the bell and from the body, the upper body, all at once. It might be good, though, to use two microphones and mix them. In my situation, using the clarinet in a pop music environment, I would need a microphone closer to the clarinet to capture less spill of the drums or other louder sources which are around me. So usually for a reed and a brass instrument, you would use a clip microphone. But for bass clarinet, that does not really work for me. There are double clip microphones on the market, one for the bell and one for the upper part of the clarinet. But still, they will pick up a lot of spill from the drums and everything around. So I decided to go with a pickup. And the pickup is this one here. It's the Rumberger WP1X. So it's a piezo-style pickup that sits within the mouthpiece. It's screwed into the mouthpiece of the clarinet. And the upside of this pickup is that it delivers a warm and loud signal, which is completely free from any spill. It's very cool to work with, both for the front of house mix and for the inner monitors of the musicians. The pickup can be sent out via a jack cable, or you can send it out using a XLR cable, or you can also, if you want to use wireless transmitters, send it out via a mini XLR cable or a Sennheiser mini jack cable. I don't have one here now, I think, no. The downside of the pickup, though, is that it needs quite a bit of tweaking to make it sound natural. So I looked for a better way of pimping the pickup signal. So guitarists nowadays often use so-called impulse responses, which are basically, as far as I understand, EQ profiles that replicate an EQ curve captured from a speaker cabinet in combination with a microphone. So why not record the bass clarinet with my studio microphones and create an impulse response of it, and then try to put that one on top of the pickup signal, trying to make it better. So here we go. In my DAW, I recorded 3 microphones and the pickup simultaneously. I placed my AEA R84 about 1 meter away, trying to capture a balanced sound. I used a Sennheiser M441 close to the bell, and another 541 close to the upper part of the clarinet body. So here we are. The green one is the pickup audio and the yellow ones are the 3 microphones. Let's listen to the R84, which is about 1 meter away of the clarinet. This is how it sounds. So what I did to the R84, I applied some EQ just a little bit in the mid, sounding that way. So, and for the second one, which is the 501, I just wanted to tame a little bit of the high frequencies in between, more or less 3 kilohertz to 10 kilohertz, sounding that way. And for the 441, which was the one close to the bell, without EQ, it sounds that way. So it had some kind of a harsh overtone situation going on, and I decided to apply quite a bit of EQ here, making a high cut and a low cut. The low cut is not really active. I could give it a little more. Since I want to combine the three signals to one, I will only want to have the warm part of that microphone to add some of the direct lows, because I have everything from the other two microphones in the upper part of the frequency range. And here we go. All three microphones combined sound that way. And again, just to compare, this is the pickup only. Back to the microphones. So on the group of the three microphones mixed down, I added some compression first. Just taming the signal of about, I don't know, 3 to 4 or 5 dB, taking off the edges of the attacks. And I also added a plugin that I really like, which is called Soothe by Octaver, which is like a dynamic EQ, sounding that way. Okay, again compared to the dry pickup. It's a bit unfair because the pickup is a little less loud than the microphones, but I think you get the idea. Then I did a mix down. I mixed down the microphones, put it on export, and called it Mics Mixed. There we go. And then I also exported the audio of the dry pickup only. There we are. So now we had the dry pickup as a WAV file and the mixed microphones as a WAV file. So while there are other possibilities, softwares and online tools to create a impulse response, I found a website which is called 29a.ch Impulse Response Creator. That's a guy from Switzerland. Thank you very much for creating this free online tool. We use the Tone Match Impulse Response Creator and we upload a source file. The source file in our case is the pickup, the dry clarinet pickup wave file that we just have exported from our DAW, and the target file is the file how it should sound. So in our case that's the bass clarinet mics mixed wave. Here we can do some advanced parameters. I left everything as is. We click on tone match, and then the software exports a tone match wave file, which is a very short file, which is our IR file, our impulse response file. And from here we go into the Cortex Control software. We click on Directory, and then on the left side we click on the IR folder, and there we have the possibility to upload the just created IR file into the impulse response library. There we go. We choose the file we have just created and drag and drop it into the directory. And now we have our tone matched IR in the impulse response library. And then within the grid we create a new preset using an IR loader. I choose to use the single mono, and then we can choose the IR we have just uploaded. There we have it. We have imported the IR into the Quad Cortex. And from the new preset we go back to the already prepared bass clarinet preset, where I have already imported the new IR into the first column of the preset. Now we switch over to the actual view of the Quad Cortex. This is the gig view. I have a mute button. I've got a 4 dB boost. I've got a small room, a medium room, and some additionals, an Octaver, an envelope filter, a 4 dB boost, a synth that adds some kind of a texture on top of it, and a 5 dB minus boost of the whole Octaver envelope chain. I'll explain that later. So if we look into the preset now, it's empty more or less. So I've deactivated everything. Everything you will hear now is the pickup without anything. No impulse response, no EQing, nothing. So that's just the pickup. So if I activate the impulse response that we just did, it sounds that way. So much better already. I have applied another little EQ, just some bass and upper mid changes. It sounds like this. And I've added some compression, not much, just a little bit, as you can see here on the gain. Yeah, and then I added a small room, which is this one here. It's just an ambience, very small, with a low pass at around 2 kilohertz, just to give it a little roomy sound. Without and with the ambience. And then additionally, I can add another reverb, which I call medium room. It's that one here. Again, it's the ambience plugin. It's a little larger, again, low pass, and some kind of a high pass around 200 hertz. Sounds like this. Just in case I want to have a little more extra reverb. Okay, and then I have an Octaver and an envelope filter that sit within a split chain. So what I do is, after the impulse response and after the compression, I split the signal. So the main signal goes through the first EQ into the synth that we're going to see later, into the rooms, and the split goes into the Octaver that's going to be activated. The Octaver is basically just a transpose a pitch plugin that does 12 semitones, so an octave lower. And then that affected signal is going to be combined again. And I've set this splitter at about 5 dB more. So the main signal of the clarinet is 5 dB less than the affected Octaver signal. So the envelope filter sits right after the Octaver. So it doesn't affect the whole chain. It only affects the octave part of the sound. And it's going to be combined after the rooms here. So just for the sound, here's the signal with a small room only. That is the Octaver it added. And here's the envelope filter added to the Octaver signal. And then I have a synth, which is in the main signal. So the synth doesn't affect the octave and the envelope filter. It just comes as an addition to the main signal. Sounds like this. There we go. I can deactivate the Octaver and the envelope filter. Leave on the synth. Sounds like this. Adding the Octaver. Adding the envelope filter. So in case the envelope and the Octaver signal are too loud in comparison of the main signal, I have programmed a 5 dB reduction. There we go, minus 5 dB gain utility that I can activate just from here. So without the 5 dB reduction, it sounds like this. And with the 5 dB reduction activated, it sounds like this. And then I have an overall 4 dB boost, again using the utility gain 4 dB plus, just to boost the whole signal without the boost and with the boost. And then, of course, the mute button to shut everything down in case I want to switch the cable or just to deactivate the signal. So there we are. That's my take on a bass clarinet preset for the Quad Cortex in combination with the Rumberger Pickup. I hope you like what you saw in this video. If so, leave a comment. If you've got questions, leave a comment. I'll try to answer them. Other than that, thank you very much for watching and see you next time.